Oh my God, YouTube.
Dude.
Yeah. How?
We're not in two separate boxes right now.
In one box.
Yeah. Are we really going to put this out on YouTube?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really funny is if like we start talking about not putting this out on YouTube
and then we do it,
but we keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think really this should be a Patreon exclusive though. At least this.
Oh yeah. So not YouTube, scratch, start over.
Welcome to Stargate SG-1 for the first time, still not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Aiken, and I'm watching Stargate SG-1 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I'm also watching Stargate SG-1, for the 47th time. But this is the first time that I am going through the series looking for those sci-fi messages. You know, those messages that hold up a mirror to society, show us how to be better to each other, or maybe even just give us hope that things are going to be better in the future.
Something's a little different this week, Brent.
It is. We are doing something a little different. And by a little, I mean, like 3,000 miles. Is it really 3,000 miles?
Give or take, yeah.
You see, my good friend Jeff here decided to get on a plane this week, fly 3,000 miles, kitty corner across the country from Oregon all the way down to Florida.
Right.
Like that's you're here hanging out for the next bunch of days.
Yeah.
And maybe we're going to knock out a few of these in a row.
Yeah. So things are going to look a little different, as you can tell, and sound a little different as well. In fact, if you're not watching this right now, you really probably should, because this looks kind of cool. All right. We've set the stage.
Yep.
People know what's up.
Yep.
We're here to watch fire and water. Last week I didn't even bother to make a prediction because like what there's fire and there's water, like that's what you got. So why don't you tell us about this episode?
Yeah, so this is episode 13 of season 1, Fire and Water, as you said. Original air date October 17th, 1997. This episode is written by one Catherine Powers.
We've heard that name before.
We have. Do you remember where?
Emancipation. I remember her in Emancipation.
That's right. She brought us such hits like Deep Space Nine's Past Prologue.
Oh, wow.
And TNG's Code of Honor.
Yeah.
And SG-1's Emancipation. Now, before you write off this episode, knowing that history, she also brought us Brief Candle.
Really?
And Thor's Hammer.
Wow.
Yeah. She's going to write a bit of Stargate.
Okay.
And some really good episodes. I'll leave it to you to decide if this one falls into the really good episode category or the Emancipation category. But just open your mind. Don't shut it off just because of that.
I'll keep Emancipation, Code of Honor over here.
Yeah.
Just.
So with that, Jeff, that's all I got. Let's go ahead and jump into this episode, Fire and Water. Now, if you're just joining us for the very first time, here's how this is going to work. Jeff and I are going to watch the episode together right now. If you're watching us on YouTube or Patreon, you're going to catch the reaction. We're going to cut this up and we're going to have a big reaction video because that's a part of what we do here.
Yep. You
can catch the full unedited reaction, as I said, over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Babylon5 first. Why is it Babylon 5 first instead of Stargate 5 SG-1 first?
It takes a lot of work to rebrand stuff.
Yeah.
And we just haven't done it yet.
Yep.
And if it has changed, there's going to be a link down below in the show notes or the whatever they call it on YouTube, the summary or whatever they call that. So it'll be there. You can click it. If you are listening to this on an audio podcast, like Brent said earlier, thank you. That's awesome. Don't forget to leave that rating and review. But also know that in a second, you're going to hear like a whoosh and then another whoosh, and we will have already watched the episode. We're going to watch the whole thing. When we come back, I'm going to share my for the first time reactions. And after that, Brent's going to lay on us any of the sci-fi messages that he has picked up in his first 47th view.
That's on P8X362, sir. Looks good. Especially
Is that the Chevron guy?
Yeah.
I'll pass this on to SG-4.
Off-world activation, repeat.
Oh.
Off-world activation.
They going to open the iris? Or are we going to see some smashed molecules?
No, sir. Incoming traveler.
You probably should go to the gate room.
Yeah.
Nobody has filled his spot while he was gone.
SG-1, sir.
Open the iris.
No one could.
Get a medical team down.
Stargate room.
SG-1 couldn't have been deployed more than 3 hours ago. What happened?
Colonel, look at me. Look at me.
Dude, even Teal'c's like
Where's
messed
Dr.
up.
Jackson?
They can't even. They don't even know where they are. Count it.
Daniel's dead, sir.
Are we gonna count that one?
It didn't happen on screen.
Right. I'm gonna count it though, because Daniel Jackson's dead.
He died.
Yeah, Daniel Jackson's dead. He's always dead. I'm telling you, he dies an obnoxious amount of times in this show. Almost always it's a death scene, but I'm gonna count this one.
Well, I feel like that's what the rest of the episode's built off of, is that, so it makes sense to count it.
You are astute. You are a good guesser and astute.
We're just going to introduce this big, huge thing in the cold open and then ignore it.
But here's the good news. He's still in the opening credits.
Yeah.
So
how long was Denise Crosby still in the opening credits? Was she through the end of season 1, I think?
Yeah, but she was only missing in what, like
9
episodes?
I think the 13th episode she died in, right?
Was it?
I
And
think.
she was in the opening credits all the way through?
I think so.
Huh.
To be honest, though, I don't watch the first season very often, so
That's fair.
If it wasn't for Starfleet Leadership Academy, I'd probably never watch it again.
This show has an amazing resilience of its cast.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. They really do. I'm not going to say nothing ever changes, but
a lot of consistency.
Yeah.
Other than like the ectoplasm.
I love Dr. Frasier. I really do.
He's gone, isn't he? There was this fire, and he called out for help.
Fire.
And then he screamed, and then
They got to add water.
he was gone. He was just...
Well, the water's in their hair.
So there was no immediate sign of danger.
There were
the
these
camera
holes.
set.
Yeah.
Volcanic
Okay, they're all
gas.
there. They're doing one-on-one.
Yeah.
Some soil samples to test for minerals. Daniel...
Take your time.
You said, Colonel, help me.
Gone.
Engulfed
In flames?
in fire.
Oh.
There was
What
nothing
else would you
could
get
have done,
engulfed in?
Colonel.
No, I swear to God, sir, I
know.
tried to get to him, but the heat was...
The best thing we can do is get them on another mission.
Is that right?
No, that is not
As
right.
soon as I
I
can
mean,
find a
that's like straight out of Top Gun. Like, keep sending them up. Keep sending them up. Like, no, ground him.
Don't give them time to
Experience,
consider it. Don't
Doctor.
give them time to dwell in
For
it.
the
Just go,
surviving
go, go.
members of the team to go.
That represses the trauma, makes it so much
Doesn't
worse.
include gate travel to another planet.
Very well, I'll put them on stand down for 7 days.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Maybe a few months.
Yeah. Does that mean they get to leave the base? Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jeff, what does it mean in a sci-fi? This will count as Daniel's death scene right here.
Yeah, that works.
What does it mean in a sci-fi episode when a funeral scene is less than 10 minutes into a 45-minute episode?
Oh, there's a whole lot coming, including him coming back.
Yeah. Well, he's still in the opening credits.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, in a sci-fi show, a lot of times there's some time travel shenanigans that are happening.
Right.
Other universe or plane shenanigans going on and
Yeah.
things like this. But ultimately, it ends with the person not being dead.
Right.
SG-1.
So, fun fact, SG-1 had an Air Force advisor that was really, like, all this stuff right here, like, really...
Oh,
they paid a lot of actual detail to how the Air Force works and what they do with the Air Force.
I wonder who they're going to give the flag to.
How's that salute there, Jeff?
I actually wasn't looking at the salute. I was watching the flag. Yeah, I didn't catch it.
All right, let's see about this
O'Neill
one.
takes it. Yeah. A lot of times that'll go to the surviving spouse or a child.
Right.
But
what if
the
they're
surviving spouse is with the Pappas, so hard to do.
right?
It's a lot of, that's a good salute right there.
It's possible that these are actual members of the Air Force.
Yeah.
That they brought in.
I don't know like what there's every branch has them, but kind of like the color guard essentially. I could see it being one of those. And he gives it to Tilk.
I mean, they are Daniel Jackson's family, so to speak.
That's a good salute. They're doing you can tell they definitely worked with an advisor.
Yeah.
The about face was good. Like this is legit.
Yeah. Like he looks like he's really playing that, like the way his lips are pursed in just the right way, you know?
Yeah, look at those salutes. For people that are new to Stargate SG-1 for the first time, I have an obsession with people on TV doing their salutes poorly.
Just former military, so I couldn't tell you whether it's good or bad. I have no idea.
Got the garbage beat out of me for saluting wrong.
I want to know where this
Commend
gate is
Daniel Jackson's
going to.
spirit,
Yeah.
The universe he opened up.
I gotta think it's where he died.
Pledge.
Maybe.
Continue our journey of discovery in his memory.
It's a lot of responsibility on Jack, taking the flag, having made the call, doing everything. Oh, and here he is.
You see him a lot sooner than maybe you thought you would.
Right?
but he is still very wet.
And the wreath didn't come through, so it wasn't that world.
Well, you don't know where the Stargate is.
I thought it was behind him. I was
Oh, is that what's making the water
thing?
Glasses.
I can't see you. On TV, if I don't have my glasses, I'm blind.
This is where he steps on the glasses.
Right.
Oh, man. See, he still looks very wet.
Yes.
Like, even if he got wet at the same time that they... Oh, look, they're deaf.
Oh, hi. Hello.
It's not a human that was taken from Earth.
Daniel Jackson.
He can't tell he's an alien because he doesn't have his glasses on.
My friend's the
He looks like one of the reptilian Zindi with the outfit.
Yeah.
Does he recognize that? Is that from the final four, the first four? Is that one of their languages?
Daniel's about to explain it to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to do.
Oh, yikes. Hi.
He's got one of the hand thingies.
He looks like legit mad.
Yeah?
English. It's much more modern.
What fate, Amaroka?
He wants to know how the story ends.
Look, my friends and I, we came here and
It's like his soap opera. He knows pieces of it.
we'll share information if
He's just free. It ended on a cliffhanger. And he's got to know.
I don't know.
I can't wait for the next season. Tell me.
Nourishment. Sleep.
No,
Oh,
not on that thing.
That looks cozy.
Not sleeping on that thing. Sorry. I would be better on the floor.
I don't know.
You will. Or you will die.
Hey, he can speak our language now.
Yeah, very clearly.
Yeah. He went from what speech, what fate Amaroka to, hey, you're going to do this or you're going to die, Jack.
They would not leave without me.
You are no more.
They think that I'm...
This memory I gave them so they would not return.
Return.
Why are you doing this?
You are oldest. You know of Babylon.
5.
What fate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Who is Omaroka?
My mate.
Oh.
What? On Earth? In Babylon?
Yes.
Uh-oh. I was talking to you about these dark spots.
Right? I like how they can walk into the room. Uh-oh.
Colonel?
Is Daniel? No. SG6.
At $1,600.
They saw Daniel.
So
Right.
What are you looking for?
they just walk in, no guns, no whatever.
Hey, we're here.
Jackson was returning.
I wonder if like the memory's coming out, so it triggered like
Our
a
people could still be out
pain
there.
response.
Yes, sir.
Well, how much has been lost?
No, he doesn't, Daniel. He has no idea.
Libraries burned to the ground.
At this point, just tell him a story,
Yeah.
Most of our
Tell him the
history
story of
is buried
Gilgamesh.
in time.
right?
You are
Or anything.
afraid.
He doesn't
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Tell him a little ditty about Jack and
You're
Diane.
asking the impossible of me.
Two American
You will not
kids
allow
growing
me to
up.
return home.
Amaroka was afraid.
What does that mean?
Amaroka came to Earth to fight the Gould. That is why she came to Earth. We have become a civilization that rivals that of the Gould. That's how far we've come. We are free.
Well, kinda. I mean, minus the space travel and
I was
technology.
like, we still don't have flying ships or anything.
If you just come back with
hand lasers or shields or,
Or
step
glowing
guns.
eyes.
Or glowing eyes.
Is here.
Yeah, there's a lot of knowledge there. Tilk looks disgusted and total pain.
Teal'c is flipping out. I'm losing my mind, man.
Game over, man. Game over. Did you say Kreetak?
Yeah.
I saw the death of Daniel Jackson.
How many times have you seen the death of Daniel Jackson in this episode?
Oh my
Can we
gosh.
count that 3 times?
Have we seen it 3 times?
But it's been the same shot again and
yeah.
again, so I'll count it once.
Conflicting feelings about Daniel.
I know he's dead.
So we've seen Michael Shanks die on screen.
Yes.
Both realities can't be true, yet both seem to be.
It's a conflict that will have to be resolved before I'll authorize your return to active duty, Colonel.
You're now completely relaxed.
I'm relaxed.
I want you to go back to the day you last saw.
That was a very fast.
Jack's gonna get hypnotized in the background there.
Right?
Can you see him?
I'm feeling it right
Yes.
now.
Burning.
No. Go back further. You just arrived.
Moon, 1.
Big ol' something over there.
It's like awful beach, awful beach. Hey, pretty nice beach.
Look at this sand. It's so soft. Picturesque, really.
Looks like some kind of...
It's like some kind of CGI
Ocean.
beach.
Yes. I think that might have even been CGI people walking across it too.
Did you see that? It's coming right towards us.
Move.
Let's stand here and wait.
It's getting really close.
Do you think we should get our guns out? Nah. What's the haps, yo?
He's got like a leather suit, just a leather black suit on underneath, draped with this blue whatever it is on top of it.
They're just cocking their heads.
This is almost as great as a costume. What was that monster in the Grey 17 episode?
Right, yeah.
Right?
I forget what it was called, but that was terrible.
Yeah. Dude, would you just let an alien come up and stick his hand in your belly?
I'm not sure that they're able to not. Like, I wonder if he's like somehow like, compelling them to stand.
Especially if like your thing of living is right there.
Right?
Like, like without sounding like, would you let some alien being come up and put their hands like in your nether regions?
Or like, just,
and be like, no, don't touch that.
I'm Daniel. This is Jack.
I can totally understand though why he's freaking out. Like, you're from the place
Move on.
that my mate failed to protect you from the Gould, and here's a Gould.
Darkness.
Is he?
Well, he's got to put whatever that thing is in their brain, right? He's got to alter their memories.
Right.
God, Colonel, we left him behind. Left him behind.
I know. And in that place there was Amaroka.
The great egg. There's a great egg, people.
It's literally, this is straight from season 1 of Babylon 5.
Right?
I can't. Whoa, I can't.
Did Catherine Powers write any season 1 episodes?
Maybe. I don't
We
think
walked
so.
among men by day.
We should look.
The god Belus came down onto Babylon, unto the place of Amaroka, and cut the woman asunder. Oh, God!
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Belus was a Gould.
He was a Gould.
Oh, you knew that?
He murdered my love.
4,000 years ago.
This is where he throws his head back and screams?
Yep.
Warning Stovakar, the great warrior is about to arrive.
At least we didn't get the overhead shot, the god shot of that happening.
Right.
He's like, I'm just going to go in.
The dude's not even stopping him.
Daniel, well, he's coming out to get these guys. Daniel, while you're down there, see if you can find a pineapple under the sea.
You know that's right. Oh, there he is.
Don't shoot. He's cool and heartbroken.
He left his glasses down there.
He hasn't had his glasses on the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, his name's Nem.
You have your answer.
When did we learn that?
Let's go.
Just now.
They must stay.
Go.
I need to learn some
Dude,
stuff.
he's got gills in his neck like Lita.
Give you the answer you wanted.
Right?
I am sorry also.
I wonder if he's...
There's so many Babylon 5
I
references
know.
in this episode.
And Star Trek ones.
Yeah.
We suspend the game and look, we're out of control.
Still friends, your people and mine.
That's
Made
why
the show
we were
better.
here. We meant no harm.
And in time, Daniel, you will find what fate shall reign.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah, right? He gets it.
So, except he kidnapped and made people think he was dead and traumatized these people. Like, is the trauma just undone now?
No, it's all better now. It's 1997.
Yeah.
So
Jack's like, what the?
he's like, so let's just go back then.
Memorial service?
Colonel said some really nice things.
He did.
Is that recorded by chance?
Right.
Preferably on a reel-to-reel tape?
Right. All right, Jeff. So you've just watched Fire and Water for the very first time. Didn't quite come out to your expectations because you didn't have any.
None.
Your predictions. Take us through it. What's your thought?
I came in with beginner's mind, which is the best mind to have. It's an empty cup waiting to be filled. It was filled, and it's filled with a couple questions, right?
All
right. In this episode, we kind of caught in media race, right? Stuff's going on. We get SG-1 coming back in with Daniel dead.
Yes.
We're counting stuff, right?
Yep.
Daniel dead. There we go.
We got a Daniel death.
And so early on, it's like, oh, so is this going to be Stargate SG1's PTSD episode?
Okay.
You know, so every sci-fi series has that episode.
Yep.
To varying levels of success, right? Yep. I can't think of a good one off the top of my head right now, even after watching this, by the way.
Yep.
I can think of some bad ones.
Such as?
The Long Dark in the second season of Babylon 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
This might be the worst episode of the entire season, of the entire series. And that includes the Avalon episode.
It's a pretty bold statement.
Yes. Dude, I just turned off like half the viewers saying
I know, right? That's a real touchy subject still. So, but no, so I'm thinking this is going to be the PTSD episode, and it kind of was.
Yeah.
And it kind of wasn't done well.
Right.
But they had sci-fi reasons for why it wasn't done well. Right. So basically Daniel gets abducted by this alien dude. At the literal last 2 minutes of the episode, we find out his name is Nem.
Right.
And Nem implants this memory into Sam, Jack, and Teal'c that Daniel died horrifically.
Right.
So the situation, I don't know. So there's a lot of water. They're wet when they come through. They look like they've been slimed, ectoplasm. Don't they send probes through first? Like, isn't that
they're supposed to?
Yeah.
Like, it's in the Malps through. Yeah. Malps. M-A-L-P. Yeah. Malps.
I had a real hang up early on in this where I'm just like, Jack's like, you can't go back through. It's too unstable. It's too unsafe. I'm like, you should have known everything about, like, shouldn't that have been the first clue? Yeah. That like, hey, we sent the Malp through. Things were okay.
Stop with the plot holes.
It bothered me through so much of the episode. I'm just like,
I got to be honest, as many times as I've seen this episode, I've never once actually considered that. And you're 1,000% right.
So I feel like that should have been the first clue. Like, one, they're having weird responses that aren't like even the Dr. Fraser's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of normal stuff, but like, I don't know. It seems to be not right. It should have been like, hey, the probe said stuff was cool. It wasn't cool. So hang up there. We talked about it during the episode itself, but they did a funeral for Daniel.
Yeah.
And one of the first times ever in a sci-fi episode, like, they did it right.
Yeah.
They folded the flag right. They did the handoff right.
Yeah.
The salutes were done correctly. Really well done. I like that a lot. In fact, that might be my favorite moment in the episode.
Sure.
Let's see. So we think Daniel's dead and people are having a hard time, right? There's trauma, there's stuff. And Teal'c makes the comment after the funeral. He doesn't understand the funeral.
Right.
And he makes the comment that on Chulak, when you die, you fast for 3 days and nights. So that's kind of cool. Also, super in line with how the Minbari grieve people as well. We're just literally comparing everything to Babylon 5 and Star Trek in this one because we suspended our game. So Nem, he's looking for the story of his mate Amaroka, who died in Babylon 4,000 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. Finds out that a Gould came and killed her. So I think it was last week I started identifying this pattern specifically with Daniel, where he gets in these situations where he has a thing he wants, and then he has to give it up to save someone or everyone.
Right.
We kind of got that in this one.
Yeah.
So Nem has him captured. And he's trying to figure out the story. He knows that Daniel knows. Somehow he knows that Daniel knows what happened to Amaroka. And he's trying to get him to spill the beans. Can't remember.
Yeah.
And so he does some math and he's like, you implanted a memory in my team. Can't you extract the memory for me? He's like, yeah, but it will hurt you a lot. Fine. Better than just sitting here the whole time.
Right.
So this wasn't like he gained something new, but it was him. And he's like, well, to make this end, I'll sacrifice my brain. So I just noting like the pattern of Daniel pretty much always having to give up something that's super important to him.
I've never thought about that. I mean, I have over the last couple of weeks, but yeah, that is a legit theme that happens.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if it's just, coincidence or if it pops up in any way and something I'll be watching for. Yeah. All in all, I mean, this had some really high moments, high points for General Hammond. He was great.
Yeah.
We talked about it during the episode, but after the funeral, they did a clearly mid-90s reception. And Jack was having a hard time.
Yeah.
And Hammond just stepped in. He was so great. He had tremendous compassion. He immediately was there to take care of Jack.
Yeah.
But he also kept moving things gently forward, right? He's like, hey, yeah, I understand. This is what's going on. I can't let you retire like you're talking about. Need you around. In fact, I need this thing from you. Need you to go clean out his apartment. That'd be great. I just thought it was really well done. Hammond's really showing himself to be like, it's awesome.
As a sports coach, if you have a player who's been in a slump, you've got to find a way to give them a win.
Yeah.
Whether it's a win in a game, whether it's a moral victory, whether, whatever else happened, they hit a home run or what, they need a win, something positive that is happening to them. You've got to find that way. And for Hammond to sit here and go, I'm not going to let you retire, but I can go let you kind of do this menial thing, but it's not menial at all.
Yeah. Super important.
And you can at least get that and check that off. And that's a positive. You were able to do something. So yeah.
I think there's we started to get into it a little bit during the episode, but Hammond was really keen on getting them back to work.
Yeah.
And he was talking to Dr. Frazier. She had nothing. She's like, hell no. Right. They need time. This is the late 90s. We were getting a better grasp on PTSD at that point, especially after the Desert Shield and the early Gulf War stuff in the early 90s. But we still didn't quite have it figured out. And I think there was still this really strong feeling. You said it there, like in Top Gun, they talked about it, where it's like, just get back on the horse, just keep going. I really kind of appreciated, they didn't dive into it at all, but it was Hammond's like, let's get him back to work. Frazier's like, no, that's not what's good for him. Okay, I'll follow your lead. Like, it was that moment, like, I feel like it matches the time and the tipping point. How we started to
celebrate the step, even if it's not all the way where it should be.
Exactly. Progress is progress, and that's fantastic. Final thought on this. I think it was a really cool idea for an episode. It just didn't hit for me. It just the plot, and maybe I'm just being pedantic here, but like the plot holes were huge. I'm frankly a little mad that we had to wait to the last 2 minutes to know Dude's name. And and how does he even know Dude's name? It just, I don't know. But yeah, decent idea. It's just not so great in the execution. Those are my for the first time reactions to this one. What kind of sci-fi messages did you find in this?
Well, I'll give you my 47th time reaction. I've seen this episode a lot. It's not anywhere close to a favorite.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't offend me. It doesn't piss me off and make me mad. It's just, it's an episode. This is an episode that if I'm flipping through the channels and I come across this episode, oh, look, Stargate SG1's on. Oh yeah, it's this episode. Let me see what else is on.
Yeah.
It's that kind of an episode for me. It's not, honestly, sitting here watching it with you might have been the most enjoyment I've ever had watching this episode. But we were making fun of it the whole time.
We were. And we were talking about Star Trek and Babylon 5.
Right.
Pretty much the whole time.
Right. So that being said, I did watch it for the first time looking for those sci-fi messages. And I mean, there's one that's just glaring. It's all the way through this episode. It feels very Star Trek to me.
Yeah.
Which is simply, there was an issue. All right. You got to take the Sam, Colonel O'Neill and Teal'c stuff and set that over to the side. You can find some things there, but that's not what the episode was about. Right. Really what the episode was about, the core of it was Daniel communicating with Nim.
Yeah.
And Nim being very adversarial to the point at the end that they leave friends. Start off as enemies, leave friends. And how did they do it?
They talked. They communicated.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is that if you do what you have to find a way to begin communicating and begin talking, then you can move forward. They didn't have to fight. They didn't have to go to guns. They didn't have to resort to any of that. They found a way to get two people in a room talking, and they found a point of commonality. One person helped the other person
at great expense.
You know, and it created, I don't know if we could say that Nim is now an ally of theirs, but if they ever need anything that they think he could help with, they could come back and ask for a favor and feel comfortable doing so, because they're not going to get blasted and sent back to whatever.
Exactly.
You know, I am going to give this episode though, a fair criticism, and this one is for all of you out there who watch Babylon 5, and I know I've already referenced it, but I'm gonna reference it again. The late delivery from Avalon episode.
Mm-hmm.
One of my absolute chief complaints about why I hated that episode, it bugged me to no end, was that the character that Michael York played could go through that, and just this simple act. I get the metaphor, Jeff. I understand the metaphor. But bringing it into reality of what they're expecting me to believe, of what the show is asking me to suspend disbelief for, that by giving this sword away to Delenn, that all of a sudden, all of his trauma and PTSD is just gone.
It's gone. Just fixed.
You know, and maybe it's not all gone, but I assure you, doctor, I'm perfectly fine. And he's going to go off and join the Narn and be one of their special captains or whatever, and we never hear from him again. You cannot tell me that Jack and Sam and Teal'c going through what we just saw for 40 minutes, walking to the edge of this, all of a sudden Daniel jumps out of the water like he's Ariel crusting on a rock, throwing his hair back, because man, has he got some hair.
It's great. So good.
Right? And he goes, don't shoot, it's my friend. I mean, this man looks like Chunk throwing himself in front of Sloth at the end of Goonies.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, don't shoot. And all, they're like, oh, okay,
We're good.
so we're good. And then they like walk off, and you have the ADR at the end of them just having little jokes about the apartment and stuff like that. And now we're fine. Like, come on, guys.
I want to be fair to Babylon 5 though. That's not just them, right? Let's look at Deep Space Nine and Chief O'Brien. You know, he spends a lifetime in prison and murders his cellmate, comes back, goes through some stuff, end of the thing, he's fine. Geordi LaForge gets his mind taken over by Romulans, and he goes through and sets stuff up. Talks to Counselor Troy one time, and then he's fine.
Right.
Captain Picard lives an entire, like, this isn't just a Babylon 5. It's not just a Stargate thing. It's sci-fi trying to address trauma, but not knowing how.
And having to do it in 45 minutes and wrap it up and move on.
Yeah.
Like, I understand and appreciate that. But it was such a sticking point for me with Avalon that I can no longer see it in an episode like this, understanding what's going on and still not call it out as being gross, because it just, like, I get it. I can, okay, fine, whatever. You're being too picky. I can do all that. It just bugs me.
So this isn't a Babylon 5 podcast. Either,
it's true. Right? It's true.
This is a For the First Time podcast.
It is.
And one of our hallmarks in For the First Time is rating things.
Yes.
You get to rate this, my friend, on a scale of 0 to 5 chevrons. Where are we at with this message?
Yeah, well, so just to remind folks, this is a rating of how strong the message is. It literally was the entire, it's not even A plot, B plot, just the entire Daniel plot, right? Like that's
the whole thing.
That is the whole thing. I think it's a super strong message to go through. I'm going to give this one 4 chevrons.
4 chevrons?
Yeah.
So I'm going to push back a little bit.
Okay.
I agree the message was very strong and the outcome was great. What we didn't see was the bridge. We saw Nem being super adversarial and Daniel freaking out. I just want to help. Just tell me what you need, whatever. To then all of a sudden Daniel willing to sacrifice his brain and his memories for everything, and then everything's great. Like, we didn't see the moment where one of them reached out and tried to understand the other. We didn't see the work that had to happen.
I would disagree with that.
Really?
We watched, now maybe this is me having seen it so many times and you not. Nim was the one who learned Daniel's language.
Okay.
Not vice versa. Nim was the one who was I think watching the show, knowing what I know about it, all of that stuff at the beginning with Nim was not him. I know I said adversarial. That's not really what it was. It was, he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Right. Like he was as frustrated trying to communicate with Daniel, but he's also so emotional. He's just emotionally charged that I'm going to light beam hand you and all that sort of stuff. Right. But he knew he had, like, I'm going to give you food. I'm going to give you rest. I've got to do something to help draw this out, but there's just, this man's been bottling up these emotions for 4,000 years, but he's trying to reach out, and Daniel is trying to come back. Like, oh, you just said words in my language. Wait, I can talk to you now. And then they try to do this thing back and forth. However, I would say there's a reason it wasn't 5 chevrons.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's why I didn't go all the way with 5. I do think it was really strong. I think it was there. Could you argue 3 or 3.5? Probably. Is it there? I think I'm going to stick with 4.
Okay. Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I can totally live with 4. I just kind of wanted to pose that.
I will say there is another episode coming up later that it's going to be the same discussion, only it's going to do it phenomenally better.
Okay.
We'll talk about that when we get there in a couple seasons.
Yeah, I think
you're going to love that episode.
Ultimately, I would say on this one, I think that they could have taken 3 minutes out of the Sam Jack Teal'c story, added it to this, and just built that bridge up a little stronger.
But don't forget, this is a Catherine Powers written episode.
Right, there is that. So really, this is almost 6
Catherine,
chevrons.
I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of you. Code of Honor and Emancipation were really bad, and you're going to catch it because of that.
I mean, you got some good stuff, but you're digging yourself out of a hole.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, Jeff. Well, I do a rating based on the message, but Jeff, you get to do the side that's just the pure, how good was the episode? And you're going to do that by ranking this episode in our definitive 100% completely accurate, immutable, set in stone-ish, might be talcum stone,
right?
But
limestone,
right?
Yeah.
Something. But our current top 5. Actually, I'm not even going to do this because I'm going to guess this is going to be in the bottom. I'm going to do our current bottom 5.
I like that.
All right. We're currently at 11 episodes. So our current bottom 5 are going to be number 7, Children of the Gods, number 8, Thor's Hammer. God, what a couple great episodes to top the bottom 5. The Enemy Within, number 9, that was Ferretti dealing with the larval Gould. The First Commandment, Sam's old boyfriend, and then the other Catherine Powers episode, Emancipation, down at the bottom. Where are you going to place Fire and Water?
You made the right choice on where to hit this. And you said a thing as you were going down that really resonates with where I'm looking. And that was, God, what a great episode, Thor's Hammer.
Yeah.
Right? It really was a good episode. Children of the Gods, amazing episode.
Yeah.
And they're like in the bottom 5.
Yeah.
That's criminal. It's criminal they're in the bottom 5. They're that good.
That just speaks to how good a season 1 has been so far, though.
Right? It's been amazing. It's been so great.
Yeah.
So the question is above or below The Enemy Within? And The Enemy Within, right, it was Ferretti. It was the first just regular episode of the series, and it definitely was rough. And what it was, it had that really cool death scene for Ferretti that was pretty awesome.
Where they took off the back of his head.
Yeah, that was hardcore.
Yeah.
But like I said in my first thing, this is a really cool idea for a story. It wasn't well executed, but it wasn't criminally executed by any means. You said you're like, oh, Stargate's on. Oh, it's this episode. Maybe I'll see what else is on.
Yeah. Let me add to that. Oh, let me see what else is on. And if nothing else is on, I'm happy to come back to this.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I'm not going to skip this episode right away. I'm going to look for other options, but I'll still watch this episode.
When those other options go to commercial, I'll come back to this one.
Exactly. Yeah, and see what's going on. This is going to be our new number 9, right below Thor's Hammer.
All right. Very good. Fire and Water. All right, Jeff. Well, that is going to do it for us for this episode, Fire and Water. Yeah. Would you like to know what we're watching next?
Let's see what it is. Let's hear
This is an episode. I don't know if you're going to know what this is. It's possibly something you have heard before, but I'm not sure. The name of the episode is Hathor.
Hathor?
Hathor. Would you care to venture a guess as to what Hathor is going to be about?
I've never heard that before.
No, never.
I'm gonna guess. Maybe I haven't. I'm just not. Maybe I need someone to extract the memory.
I was gonna say this actually feels very much like I'm sure you have, and it's in there. We just need you to go into the machine and
Amaroka. Amaroka. I'm thinking like it conjures Beowulf vibes for me.
Okay.
I'm probably way off. I don't know. Star Trek did a Beowulf. Voyager did.
They did, yeah.
I think this is going to be Stargate's Beowulf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with for this one.
Boy, you're a good guesser.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we will see next time right here on Stargate SG1 for the first time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hey, listen, don't forget to subscribe wherever you are catching us, whether it's on YouTube or on your audio podcast of choice. And wherever you are, please make sure to like, share, leave a rating and review for us right here. And please share this podcast with someone that you know who loves Stargate SG1, or maybe somebody who, like my friend Jeff here, needs to discover it for the very first time. So with that being said, until next time, we're going to find out just how good
Brent.
Jeff.
This is a lot of fun doing this, but I'm kind of starving. Do you want to go get some sushi at that place down the street?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Club 65.
What's up?
You've now, we need a sound effect. You are now entering Club 65.
Right? For real.
You know,
we do a little techno from time to time, you know, to kind of build that vibe up.
Right.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Club 65.
Yes.
How'd this work for you?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. By the time you guys actually see this, though, and Jeff and I have recorded several of these,
we'll be months out probably.
Yeah, we're not going to go back and re-record, but I do want to know how awful or great did you? Was there a different vibe with Jeff and I in the same room, or was it just easier to watch when we're like literally across the country from each other?
Yeah. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
I know for me, I think it went really well.
Yeah.
I feel physically uncomfortable though. We're in a very tight space.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And
this is not I'm going to sit here and record 8 episodes with you in a day.
We were talking about doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to do it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm fully with you on that. Yeah.
But it was fun.
But I enjoy sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this. So anyway. Okay. Well, I guess on that note, we're going to get out of here. Club 65. You guys are awesome. Drop 65 down in the comments below. Let us know that you're here. And remember the #1 rule of Club 65. We don't tell anybody what Club 65 is. They either just got to find out for themselves or pretend like they know, and you'll know that they don't know.
You earned this.
Here we go.
Don't give it away.
Simply by sticking around.
Seriously.
That's literally all it is. Just sticking around. All right. We're going to get out of here. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.